And what changed in the last 11 months between being rejected and being accepted? Was it your profile or most importantly, your mindset?
And also, like, we always think that our life is a social media profile. We only need to put our best photos and like our best moments. And that's what I did in my first application. But this time I just changed it around. I just focused on my shortcomings, which actually helped define my why and the how more crisply in the application. And I just tried to show, okay, like these are my shortcomings and like I'm not perfect and like this is the roller coaster ride I have been through.
There are many students equate this rejection with identity. But how did you separate, like, I got rejected from I'm not good enough?
We should just keep trying, like we only control what we control. The outcomes are not in our hand. It is never about like if you're good enough. It's more about like did you give your best shot? And the simple answer was no, I had not given my best shot the first time I had done things. So
Now tell us about one brutally honest mistake you made in your first Stanford application and how did you fix it?
I just did not present
So, folks, you have tuned into TGV and hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series, the world's only quadrilingual podcast at this moment of recording. And we are trying to embark into multiple languages as we speak. And here we embark on transformative conversations for a better future. And we want to simplify and amplify your journey to success. I'm your host, Navin Samala, dedicated to making the world a better place by bringing you wisdom through valuable discussions with experts designed to simplify and amplify your success. And thank you so much for tuning in. So, folks, welcome back to the Guiding Voice podcast series. And today we are joined by Dhairyya Agarwal, who is a Kolkata native and alumnus of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad University of Technology in India. And he earned his MS from Carnegie Mellon and now builds a cybersecurity products at Microsoft, protecting hundreds of millions of users worldwide. And he was rejected by Stanford in March 2025. However, he reapplied and was accepted into the same program in February 2026. And his journey epitomizes resilience, clarity, and most importantly, the power of not giving up too early. So, we are excited to have an interesting conversation with Dhairya. And before that, let me welcome Dhairya. Dhairya, hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series. How are you doing today?
not bad. Thanks, Naveen, for having me here.
Yeah, pleasure to host you. And I've gone through your profile, super inspiring, and especially the way you have dealt with failures and working in cybersecurity domain, at Microsoft, protecting thousands of users, so on and so forth. And what is that we are going to specifically cover in our conversation today, and why should somebody tune into the Guiding Voice for the next 30-35 minutes?
Yeah, so every year a lot of candidates apply to different universities, both in India and like other countries. And when they get a reject, they think it's like it's a rejection on me, but it's actually a rejection on the application. So that's a mindset which people just need to have and like find and refine.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. And as you rightly said, rejection is about the application, not the person as such. And it is applicable not just to the university admissions, but it is applicable everywhere in life. So, folks, today we are going to dive into an interesting conversation on the topic at hand, the Stanford no that became a yes, and how Dhairya has rebuilt his destiny. But before we get started, here is an exciting twist as always. Let us tickle our guest brain first. So, Dhairya, get ready for a rapid fire round of random words. I'm going to mention a few words, and I would love to hear the first thing that comes to your mind in response without thinking much. And if you're ready, let's get started.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, my first word is curiosity,
Why?
invention,
Solving problems.
future,
Teleportation.
universe,
Ever growing.
leadership,
enabling
Success.
after failures.
Wow. Love it. Life.
Work, family, and friends.
Aliens.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Role model.
My parents.
Wonderful. Here comes the last word. Money.
A tool.
Superb. I loved all your responses and thank you for participating in rapid fire round number one. You heard it right. There is one more rapid fire round towards the end of the episode. So stay tuned. And Dhairya, again, thank you for being part of our journey in shaping the careers and lives of millions across the globe. And let's get into the mainstream conversation. And here you can answer to my questions in about 1 to 2 minutes. Okay. So my first question, which is aligned with the theme of my podcast, talk to us about who is your guiding voice.
I think it's a combination of my curiosity and my family. Like, yeah,
All right. And can you share your success mantra, as in top three things that have contributed to your success so far?
I don't know if I'm successful or not, but yeah, just because I'm able to do certain things. But I'll pinpoint it to my family and environment, which just encourages me to try things and definitely like my friends. Yeah.
What did the Stanford rejection letter do to you emotionally in that first week after that March 2025? And what was the lowest internal conversation you had with yourself?
I'll be very honest. I was like very heartbroken at that time because after a lot of research, I just applied to that specific program because I already had a master's and I had a very specific why I wanted to do that thing. So when things did not work out, I was very sad for a few days. My family kept encouraging me, but then I was like, okay, like check it. If it did not happen, it did not happen. I'll just give it another try and I'll just keep trying. Maybe things will work out. But like I knew I did not put forward my best application, so I could do things better. So yeah, I just started working on the application after the fourth day of the rejection. Yeah.
Okay, got it. And what changed in the last 11 months between being rejected and being accepted? Was it your profile or most importantly, your mindset?
I think it was a combination of both the things. There were a lot of things happening across both my personal and my professional life. Um, so it was a combination of both the things. I actually joined a founding team at Microsoft working on a new cybersecurity product. Um, Starting from zero users and growing it to million of users was like really a very exciting and also fun, challenging thing to do at work. Apart from that, like I started spending more time with people who were already in the program, going to the campus, understanding why they were doing the things they were, and like validating my why in short. So, and also like we always think that our life is a social media profile. We only need to put our best photos and like our best moments, and that's what I did my first application, but this time I just changed it around. I just focused on my shortcomings, which actually helped define my why and the how more crisply in the application. And I just tried to show, okay, like these are my shortcomings and like I'm not perfect and like this is the roller coaster ride I have been through. So because whoever is reading your application, they will never meet you or like they will never know you as a person. So your application just needs to communicate who you are as a person and like they should be like, okay, I know this person as good as my best friend, and then they will go and bat for you wherever they have to go and bat.
Got it. And looking at your background, you grew up in Kolkata and went to this Maulana Abul Kalam Azad University of Technology and then made it to Carnegie Mellon University and then Microsoft. At what point did you realize you could dream beyond your environment?
I don't think there was a specific point or like it's the way. It's just like if I want to do something, I just keep trying. um I'm very fidgety by nature, so like so it's like yeah, something just comes up in my mind and it's just like to try keep doing that.
I am kind of that I'm almost like that. Like whatever comes to my mind, I just keep doing, and yeah, I can relate to how you might have gone through. Wonderful, and there are many students equate this rejection with identity. But how did you separate like I got rejected from I'm not good enough?
To be honest, I thought the same way for the first 3 days after the rejection letter. But it is I like I just had like my family really like had honed my parents had really hold into me like we should just keep trying. Like, we only control what we control. The outcomes are not in our hand. Actually, my current manager also was very supportive, and like he kept saying that you should just reapply and do things. But like, if it is never about like if you're good enough, it's more about like, did you give your best shot? And the simple answer was no, I had not given my best shot the first time I had done things. So that was a very liberating moment. Like both my parents, my family, my brother, my sister-in-law, and like my manager at work, like they were very, very supportive of things.
And out of curiosity, do they ever compare your current application with past application? Do you have any visibility into that?
Yeah, they actually have visibility into that, but they always ask me to compare myself with just myself. Like they're like, don't think what other people are doing, just focus on what you can do and like just see if you are doing better or worse. So that's always been the feedback from everybody I've like been associated with.
Now, tell us about one brutally honest mistake you made in your first Stanford application and how did you fix it?
Yeah, so yeah, I just as I told before, like we think that life is always the best moments forward, but like because people have um we have become so attuned from the social media culture since 2009. Before that, life was not like that based on what people have told me. We always used to share openly, be vulnerable, be look to grow, and like people used to associate because we are all humans and like we always like a story which has both ups and downs. So I just focused on my achievements and like never presented who I was and what I wanted to do, why I wanted to do things, how things will like, how this will help me. So just focusing on achievements, like you come off great, but everybody you meet is like sort of amazing in some way or the other. What really stands out is like how you have grown and like how you look forward to grow. So I just did not present like who I was as a person or like and what I've been taught and like why I'm doing things the way I'm doing things. So if you just focus on presenting who you are as a person and like not focus on like, okay, this is my Instagram profile, go and check it out, then like yeah, things will work out more than like because as humans we always try to connect with one another and like vulnerabilities and like opening about our failures are short ways of like to stay connected with one another.
Let's talk about your Microsoft experience in terms of what did the company teach you daily about excellence or system thinking or resilience?
Yeah, that's is actually a very good question. Like, it's because I especially work in the cybersecurity space where resilience is like has a lot of meaning, and being excellence in stopping attacks carries a lot of weight. So we are actually told to focus each day on like what we can do to make the world safer, and while we are doing that, like how we can ensure that the Microsoft systems which deliver security to people across the globe and enterprises, like how are those resilient? Because we are only as strong as our weakest piece. So we need to think like how is a change impacting the entire system, how resilient the system is, and like how resilient the solution is in preventing attack across the entire landscape for both for the customers and for Microsoft itself.
And what does it really take to stand out as an applicant when coming from a tier 2 or tier 3 college?
I really don't think I have a very good answer for this because for each is it its own cup of tea. But as far as I remember, when I had like applied to Carnegie Mellon way back in 2019. I had just written like again about why I could not get into a top tier university in India as all the aspirants aspire to, and what did I learn from that experience, and what all skills I developed from a tier 3, because you learn from anywhere and everywhere is what my mom has taught. Like anybody walking into a room can teach you something. So you just need to see, okay, this is what I have learned, and this is the learnings, and this is how I applied it, and this is how I look forward to carry the learnings if I get a chance to be part of the experiences at the place I'm applying to. So you just, again, you need to present who you are as a person, which we keep forgetting every day in our life. So
Okay. And what is a belief you had to unlearn in order to grow?
yeah, it's a very basic thing which you have been taught, especially in India from as a kid. Like the answer lies in the question, but we keep forgetting that. So basically, the prompt they give you, if you answer to that prompt and just structure your essays around that prompt and your entire application, or like your entire work as well, like even when people ask you question, at like the answer lies inside that question itself. So if you just focus on that question, like things will work. It's a very simple thing, but we keep forgetting it. Like we have been taught this like throughout. So yeah.
But over a period of time, we stopped questioning it.
Yeah.
We stopped using that particular ability. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And moving to the next one, like what is one thing you still struggle with despite all these achievements?
Yeah, I just like yeah, not content, like just want to keep fidgeting, keep doing things. Like it's not about what has been done, it's about what I want to do next.
Amazing. I love it. And yeah, after that amazing conversation, and it's time for us to add some more spice and some more excitement to the episode, which means it brings us to the second rapid fire round. So, shall we continue?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Naveen.
Okay, wonderful. And here comes the first bullet out of second rapid fire round. What is one electronic gadget or a fantasy gadget that you like to see or invent yourself?
Uh, a device which you can use everywhere but has no screens, so that we
Interesting.
are not slaves to our devices here.
Okay. And if you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say?
Good thing comes to those who wait with patience. Actually, I have it, like this came in a Chinese fortune cookie message. I actually have taped it to my laptop.
Wow. Good things come for those who wait. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you describe yourself in just one word?
I'll just say fidgety.
Okay. Rejection or failure? Which one teaches faster?
So this is a very tricky one because it depends on the how you perceive things. I just say rejection because if you take it up as a failure, then it's on you.
So you have already gone through CMU, Carnegie Mellon University, and now stepping into Stanford. Where do you expect to grow more as a human?
I think both the places, it just depends on which aspects you're looking at. Like CMU is more like a nerd school where like you go into a depth of a topic, while Stanford is more of an entrepreneurial school, like where you just think of applying things which you have learned or like you just exploring.
So one skill every Indian student absolutely must learn.
Application. I just say it because the way we are taught things, we focus a lot more on what is there in the book. But if you look at different countries outside of India, they mostly focus on how you can apply what's there in a book. Like even if they have a history essay, they will just try to see what they can apply from all what's taught in history instead of just like, okay, these are the dates and like these are the specific facts. So like application is very important.
I love it and completely resonate with you. Here comes the next bullet. A belief Bengal gifted you that shaped your personality.
Learning, like Bengal has produced a lot of great Nobel laureates, PhD scholars, And like learning is very ingrained in Bengal. Like people just keep on studying and studying, like, yeah, for the sake of learning.
Super. One tech product you wish you had built.
You know how prevalent the OTP fraud is in India, right? People call you, they take your OTP and like siphon off you of your money, right? So I really wish I had built a product which could screen calls and messages and like flag real time. Because in India, in other countries, they refund you back the money. The bank is liable, but in India, the customer is liable. So
Mhm. Yeah. LinkedIn, Twitter, or real conversations? Which one would you prefer?
I'll prefer the latter, real conversations. I only have two social media profiles, LinkedIn and WhatsApp. Yeah.
Here comes the last one. Name one AI assistant you can't live without.
Cloud code.
All right. Superb. I loved again all the responses to the second rapid fire round as well. Let's flip back to the mainstream. So, Dhairya, if someone listening or watching this episode today just received a rejection letter, so what is the first step you want them to take in the next 24 hours?
Okay, like, yeah, this is just what works for me. I call my family, like, they are very supportive. I might get scolded, but they are very supportive. So I just have a family which listens to all my cringes. So yeah, that's what the first thing I'll do.
All right. I loved talking to you. And thank you so much for being part of our journey again. And looking forward to hosting you in future. And how is your experience being hosted on the Guiding Voice podcast?
I think you have been very supportive and empathetical. Like I did not even reply to you to an email, like because of some work-related things for 2 days, but like you're very supportive, very welcoming. So thank you so much, Naveen, for having me on the podcast.
Yeah, pleasure to have you. And I wish you all the best in everything that you do. Looking forward to hosting you again in future. All right. So,
Yep.
yep. So, friends, that was our episode with Dhairya Agarwal. And before we jump into the fun trivia section, we have a quick request. If you're listening to this episode on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, and if you're not following us already, hit the follow button and also request you to leave a rating or review so that it amplifies our reach. And also, if you have enjoyed the conversation, request you to share with at least three of your friends or colleagues or family members, whoever you think are going to benefit from this show. Now it's time for us to cruise into the trivia segment. Having an amazing conversation with Dhairya on dealing with failure, rejection, I thought of presenting you few facts related to people who have faced numerous rejections before they have become successful. And first one that hits the list is J.K. Rowling. And I'm sure most of you might have heard about her story. But she was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. And the founders of Airbnb were rejected by 7 investors, one saying the idea was too weird. Right. Next fact is about James Dyson, who created 5,126 failed prototypes before building his breakthrough vacuum. And next fact is Stanford rejects over 95% of applicants every year, many of whom go on to build unicorn companies. And next fact, cybersecurity failures globally cost about $6 to $8 trillion annually, and the number is rising. So, folks, today's episode taught us something really powerful. Rejection is not a verdict, it's just a checkpoint. It allows us to pause for a moment and get resilient, become better. And Dhairya's journey proves that if you stay committed and if you stay learning, if you are improving, and even the world's biggest no can turn into a yes that changes your life. So that's it today from trivia perspective and also from the episode point of view. If you have heard any rejection to success or failure to success stories, and if you have heard about anyone who have turned their no into a big yes kind of thing, do let me know about them. If you are watching this episode on YouTube, you can comment there, or if you have found this episode on some social media platforms, you can comment there as well. So, folks, thank you once again, and thank you for being part of our awesome TGV family. So, until next time, take care, stay inspired. And remember, the best is yet to come. Goodbye for now. See you all in the next episode with another amazing guest. Take care. Love you all. Bye bye.